Hey everyone. Today I'm going to kind of do a quick video on just for like information purposes on what a KWLQ chart is. This will be another strategy that I will teach you, um, and that you'll be able to use in your classes. And it's going to be a process. But the idea of you get an assignment in class, you're just expected just to read through it, understand what's going on. It's going to be quite difficult to do. So sometimes a chart like this can help. We can use this like as a map, or think of it as a guide. If you're out walking around somewhere in a forest, and you have a map that tells you kind of where to go and what the process. This can kind of help guide your thinking as you read. So a lot of times, and this one's kind of filled out here, as you can see, a KWLQ chart will look just like this. It asks, what are we reading, or it can be, what are we learning about? And it'll be separated in these little boxes here, K, W, L, and Q. Okay. I'm gonna slide up to the top here and just give you an explanation on what those acronyms mean. So a KWLQ chart. A KWLQ chart stands for K, what I already know. W, what I want to learn. L, what I learned. And Q, what further questions do I have? This chart can help process your thinking and understanding as you read because the K, what I already know. This section is where you think about everything you already know about the topic. So, before you even begin reading, you will you might map it out on paper. You might just think out loud or just might even think to yourself about everything you already know about that. This is called your background knowledge. And, this is extremely important when you're learning new stuff in your classes because everything you learn in your classes, you're learning based off stuff that you've already learned in all your other classes before, any other readings you've done before, any experiences that you've had in your life. That's your background knowledge. So everything builds on each other. The more knowledge you have about a topic, the better you will understand it, the better you will read, and the better you will retain new information about that topic. Okay, this is also the stage where you make predictions. Um, and it's important to make predictions because it kind of helps guide your reading. It kind of helps your mind start to actively think as you read. Okay, the case section here, this is done before reading. So a lot of times when we're doing this graphic organizer, before we even start reading, we'll start thinking about everything that we already think we know about the topic. We'll write it down in the case section. That was down here. The W, what I want to know. I will tell you sometimes you need to put down what I need to learn. Okay, because I know sometimes when a class we're just not that interested. When we're like, I don't want to know this, but sometimes you need to know it. So we want to think of this section as what I want to know or what I need to learn. This is done before reading. Sometimes we'll do it during reading, but typically it's done before reading. This is the part where you create questions and set your purpose for learning. This is the why am I learning this? What do I need to learn? Why is this important? It's important that we generate or ask these questions because you become an active reader. Okay, and that's the whole key here. We want to be actively thinking and reading. And then will help you what's called monitoring your comprehension. And it's important that we do that because when we, monitor if we're understanding or not understanding something, that's the part where we become the strategic reader, the strategic thinker that you always hear me preach about. Okay, when you're monitoring your comprehension, you will think to yourself, yeah, I get what I'm reading here. This is great. Okay, I can keep going. Or you might say that didn't make a lot of sense to me. Here's what I need to do, and that's the part where you become a strategic thinker. Okay, so we always want to monitor our comprehension, and we always want to ask questions because asking questions helps us become an active thinker and reader. So, for example, if we're doing a News Ella article, we might go and, quickly go through the article. And even before reading necessarily, we might look at the subheadings and turn those into questions. And then we might just plug those questions into the W section right here. But you can also create your own questions just based off curiosity you might have about the article or, something you want that you're hoping that you learn. Okay, so the next section is the L. This is what I learned. So this is done after reading. So we asked our questions in the W section. In the K section, we had our background knowledge and predictions. Those two sections are filled out already. After reading, it's what I learned. This is where you put the new information that you learned. So any new information you learned about the reading, you put down a section of what I learned. Those questions you had, did you answer those questions? The predictions you had in the case section, were those predictions true or not? Um, so this is where you connect the K with the K, that you connect the L with the K and the W. So it is where you connect the old knowledge that you might have had with the new knowledge learned. So think about putting them together. You have this knowledge you already had about this topic before reading. That was in the case section. And now you just read the article and you answer those questions. You have new knowledge. You learn some new stuff and you connect them together. Okay, this is where the new knowledge is learned. Think of it as like you're testing yourself. You're giving yourself a little test to see if you understand what you read and if you learn anything new. So it's important to think. You should say to yourself, I write down new information that I learned from the text. This helps me test whether I understand what I read or if I learned anything new or interesting. The final section is the Q. I have further questions. And I think it's important to put this in this chart because, if we do a KWL chart and we did our background knowledge, we made predictions and we generated questions and we're starting to become an active reader and we learn some new stuff and we're like, here's what I learned. Learning doesn't stop right there, though. Learning continues. I like to think that we're all lifelong learners in life. We continuously learn. So you get done reading, you've answered your questions, you learned some new stuff. But what further questions do you have? What else would you like to learn about this? What curiosities do you have? So this is where you explore on a more deep level. What further questions do you have? What more do you wonder? Learning is ongoing. You should continue to explore and ask questions. So on this chart, you might just put down some things like, I wonder more about this, or I wonder why this happened, or does this mean, a variety of different questions that you can put in here. And maybe you won't go look right away, but you might use it as some other point in your learning. So you want to think to yourself, I am a lifelong learner. Even if I answer my previous questions, I have more wonders. I continue to ask questions to broaden my knowledge base. And again, here's our KWLQ chart and what it would look like. K, what I already know. W, what I want to know or remember, what I need to learn. L, what I learned. And Q, I have further questions. Now, coming up with some of your assignments and some of our async days when we do some of our own articles and readings, I will show you how to use this chart and how this can be beneficial in your classroom. So we'll do a lot of stuff where you're just going to watch me do one. Okay, maybe we'll do that a couple of times. You'll watch how I do it. Then we'll kind of work together and we'll do this together. For a few of your classes, we'll kind of work on this together. And my goal is by second semester, you will be able just to use this on your own. You'll pull it out and kind of start filling the stuff out, and hopefully it'll make a difference. So KWLQ chart. Thank you.